3 American soldiers were killed in a drone attack on a U.S. base in northeast Jordan near the Syria border. Dozens more are injured. The Biden administration says Iranian-backed militant groups are to blame, and there are concerns that this could draw the U.S. into a wider conflict. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington, D.C. And Bree, what are lawmakers on Capitol Hill saying about this deadly attack?
Good morning, Maureen. Well, some U.S. lawmakers are pressing President Biden to take action against Iran for backing the militia that launched the deadly drone strike in Jordan. 3 American soldiers killed and at least 24 injured in a drone strike in Jordan. President Biden calling for a moment of silence during a campaign stop in South Carolina.
We lost 3 brave souls in an attack on one of our bases.
While the facts are still being gathered, in a statement, the president says the attacks were carried out by radical Iran-backed militia groups operating in Syria and Iraq. Lawmakers agree.
Clear, according to what the White House is telling us, that this was instigated by radical extremists funded by Iran.
This attack marks the first time U.S. service members in the Middle East were killed in the months of strikes since the Israel-Hamas war began, and is seen as a dangerous escalation.
These are drones that are packed with explosives and then detonate upon impact. But to have that type of the number of casualties suggests that it was a fairly sizable one.
The White House says the U.S. will hold those responsible to account at a time and in a manner of our choosing. There's also pressure on the administration to take decisive action against Iran for backing the militia behind the deadly drone strike.
I think the Biden administration now is going to have to rethink the general strategy. Deterrence is not working.
President Biden vows to take action.
We shall respond.
A sentiment echoed by defense officials who say attacks on American forces will not be tolerated. And since the onset of the Israel-Hamas war, militant groups have targeted U.S. forces in the Middle East, with more than 160 attacks against bases with American troops. Maureen?
Bree, CIA Director William Burns is in Europe meeting with Israeli and Qatar counterparts on hostages. What do we know about that?
Maureen, a source tells NBC News that the outline of a deal to release hostages in Gaza, that it's coming together, although nothing is set in stone yet. But the deal could be bigger than the one that led to the hostages released back in November.
All right, we will certainly be paying attention to that. Bree Jackson, live for us in D.C. Thank you so much.